Senate to ignore the House of Representatives. Everything's coming to fruition now with the new 4 years for President Obama.
Join us every Monday through Friday morning, 9 to 11 Eastern Time, right here on CRN Digital Talk.
Flying high at 60,000 feet on the very cusp of outer space, he is strapped in and ready to dive bomb the pernicious peddlers of the pornographic politic. So run for cover. It's the Fred Dryer Radio Show. Incoming! And now, here is your host, Fred Dryer.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. As the man said, I am your host, Fred Dryer, strapped in and snugly tucked in behind the great steering wheel. They call it a steering wheel, or is it a stick?
It's a joystick.
Is that what they call it?
Look at how you smile. Look at when you grab that stick. Look at the smile on your face.
But it's not a stick over here on my side.
Well, it looks like.
What do you got over there?
I have just a seatbelt.
What you got? One of those things that's two pedals and kind of like a
squirrel
big
cage.
Big button.
Yeah, but don't press that. That's the ejection seat.
The ejection seat. That's the James Bond ejection seat.
That is the one.
That's when you get a bad date, out she goes, or out he goes.
Out he goes.
Depending. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No. There's a lot wrong with football, though. I mean, did you see that BCS game? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that terrible?
Yeah.
It was Crimson Tide. They are awesome, but Notre Dame should have at least mustered some kind of an attack.
Bad programming.
I think they should just go back to the bowl games. Forget the championship game. It's stupid. Just play like a Rose Bowl and an Orange Bowl and all that kind of stuff.
Is that what you think?
Well, don't you think? I mean, unless they get some real tight leagues together, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like, whoever wins the most games should be the champion.
Well, they had 12 games that the Irish had won.
Right.
And they beat up on a couple of patsies in there.
Yes.
And they kept frothing about how great their defensive line was.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched him play against UCLA. Was not that impressed because USC's terrible.
Yeah.
But as far as the Alabama squad goes, they could play Notre Dame 10 times and beat them by 30.
I think it could have been a better game with maybe somebody else, getting into one of these games.
San Diego State. They should have had San Diego State in it. My alma mater. They were 9-3, and they got beat by BYU. That's a good team.
I would have put.
They should have had San Diego State in there, and if that would have been the case, then I'd have gone down to Florida and
been there, right?
And gotten drunk and run around.
You do that
town
whole
for a
thing.
while.
You throw the stick in the ground or something before the game. You've done that.
I've done that.
I know. I know.
I almost missed once.
You did.
Yeah. But, football's over. Thank God.
It's done. And so
college-wise.
We look forward to baseball, and today, of course, nobody. What do you think about this? Because you almost became a baseball player, Fred Dryer.
Yeah.
Nobody elected into the Hall of Fame. No one. Zilch. Zero. Zip.
How many were up
Mike
for
Piazza was up there, and Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens, and there's so more, Norm Sherry. No, I don't think
Sherry.
I don't think he was in there. Rip Rapolsky, Don Demeter was taking one more shot at it.
Let's drop the airplane down another 10,000 feet and go.
Cesar Cedeno was up one more time.
Holy smoke! Wait a minute.
Listen, I'm reading this book from Dave Hull, the Hullabaloo, the radio personality, and he talks about his days at KFI when he was doing Wes Parker and he were doing it after the Dodger games, and Dave got a lifelike wax figure of Pete Rose, and he put pins into it. It was a voodoo doll to make the Dodgers beat the Reds, and when Pete Rose was playing, to put these pins in. He stuck it in front of the Cincinnati Reds dugout, and what he didn't figure out is the Puerto Rican and all the Hispanic players would come near the dugout because they were terrified of the voodoo doll.
Well,
I find that funny.
The press.
Throw the voodoo doll at the back of the plane.
Well, they should wear it around your neck while you play.
It was big. It's lifelike.
Well, I mean, did the press know about that? I mean, the press, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is now controlling sports.
Oh, we'll find out about that straight ahead. It's the PM show with the one and only Fred Dryer. Email Fred incoming at crni.net.